Good sound on this mofo? Yeah, you do. All right. Well, today, boy, I am approaching this one with some trepidation. And this is a big dog. This is a big dog in our pantheon, in my pantheon specifically. Well, Heather's too, but file this sucker under Murderer's Row. Yeah, we're talking about Possession, Andrzej Zulawski's 1981 masterpiece. Yeah, man. Oh god, this is a beast. Okay, I wanted to see this one quite a while before I actually did. Mondo Heather finally broke down and got a really nice cherry edition of it, and it has been a huge favorite of mine ever since. Now, any Zulawski you see is stellar. It's unbelievable. The one I've got to say I haven't seen yet is on the Silver Globe. That's supposedly one of the big ones. I mean, huge, maybe the best. A lot of the other ones also brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And maybe going to touch on a couple of those a little bit. But right now, I just want to delve into Possession. Possession is, yeah, like I said, 1981, had a very troubling history as far as how it did, various cuts of it, whatnot. I'm not going into that, I'm not too, when it's necessary, I will. I'm not too big on regurgitating history. You can kind of go to someone else for that. There are folks who do really good jobs with all the arcane details and all the research and all that. I will go into some. But I'm just going to be dealing, I just do these kind of raw, unedited rambles, and and I don't edit these, and so this is basically just kind of what you're going to get. But stars Isabella Johnny, and also Sam Neill. And yeah, Sam Neill, for those of you noobs, yeah, it's the Jurassic Park guy. And for those of us who knew him from this and Dead Calm and some good movies around that era, man, yeah. And if all you know from is Jurassic Park, yeah, you haven't seen the good stuff. Let me just say, but put that, file that in the purist ranting category. Now, Zulawski had just finally gotten his breakaway from Poland, where the communist government had cracked down on a couple of his movies, most notably on the Silver Globe, which, yeah, I will get to that one of these days, I'm sure. And I'm sure it's probably going to make Murderer's Row just like this one. But, Murderer's Row! Whatever. Anyway, so he had gone through, he had kind of gone through a breakup with his home country, and he'd gone through a breakup with his ex-wife, very painful divorce, which I think fueled a lot of this. And this story, they set it in Berlin, filmed it in Berlin, by the wall. You were 5 foot, 10 inches tall. It was very nice. Sorry, guys. I'm getting these psycho brain loops. But anyway, so they filmed it in Berlin by the wall. And I guess Zulawski wanted to get as close to communism as he could without actually going back into it. And he wanted to get as close to what he saw as the insidious evil of the world, and at the same time dealing with his own personal inner demons. And he does a story where Sam Neill plays Mark. Is it Mark? I got my notes here. You know, my little cheat sheet. And I got to get my glasses because my peepers don't see too good. But yeah, Mark, the who is a spy of some sort, and you see him. He wants to be released from his duties. He wants to just live with his family, his wife Anna, played by Isabella Johnny, and his kid Bob, and so he goes home. He's kind of cut ties with the agency or whatever it is, and provisionally, I guess, goes back home, and Anna wants a divorce, or she wants a separation or a divorce, and it's never quite specified. They go back and forth a couple of times, and it's rough and nasty and traumatic and difficult. And then there's this other guy named Heinrich, played by Heinz Bennett, who comes into the mix, and he's the other man in the situation, and he's this weird, condescending spiritualist guy who you get the feeling has just like very highfalutin, very condescending, and you feeling he's got some weird kind of pull. At least for a while, you get the feeling he has this pull on Anna, and things get very ugly. And as is typical, nothing's neat in situations like this, and it's kind of like, I want to break up, and it's kind of like, yeah, fuck you, we're breaking up. This is nasty, you're a hoe, and but wait, let's stay together for the kid. The kid's being neglected. The kid's at home getting food all over his face and everything while she's kind of out with Heinrich, and Mark is coming unglued. She's coming unglued. Eventually, you find out that Anna is two-timing the both of them in this dingy loft somewhere with this kind of weird octopus or squid creature, with the special effects, great special effects by Carlo Rambaldi, and man, this is, I can't even begin to tell you. Eventually stuff comes in there where Mark starts seeing Bob's school teacher, whose name is Helen, and she's kind of almost an exact mirror image or doppelganger of Anna. She's very nice and sweet and obedient. And then eventually another doppelganger pops up in there. And yeah, if you didn't get a clue from my breakdowns on Mulholland Drive, I'm a big sucker for doppelgangers and mirroring and stuff like that. That always kind of trips my shit. I really like it, and And then there's the problem with the squid. But the thing is, the true action is basically in the dissolution of these two's marriage and the fact that these two are pulling each other and themselves apart, and they're both going completely insane. And yeah, if you have one image of this, you have one image of possession. It is Isabella Johnny freaking out in the subway and, obliterating all her groceries and oozing fluids and screaming and yelling and going into seizures and yeah, that's a big image, but I don't want to stress. It's so much just a part of the insanity going on here, where the entire time you get the feeling like there are Cold War tensions going on, and at one point it's like the entire world seems to be kind of going on this unhinged axis that they're on, and they're storming around, arguing and fighting in the streets, and she's bleeding, and then you see just vehicles overturning and piling up and going up in flames and shootouts happening, and in the end it just may be World War III. It literally gets apocalyptic toward the end. And I don't know, the insanity of the acting and probably the lengths to which Zulawski pushes his actors. Now, a lot of people will see these performances cold, and just be like, what the hell are they even doing? It's like they're berserk. They're like insane ballerinas. It's kind of funny is Anna is apparently a dance teacher, and you see her at one point torturing these little ballet student girls on the high bar and twisting their leg to where they're in pain and crying and stuff, and yeah, I feel like it's almost a metaphor for what Zulawski puts his actors through, and Johnny, by all accounts, kind of had a breakdown afterwards. Which, boy, this is the kind of performance that'll push you toward that. But just insane cinematography. One thing that Zulawski picks up, you don't see it early on in his career, and I think his first feature film, like a third part of the night, as lurid and disturbing and depressing as the subject matter is, and a lot of the imagery is, it plays pretty much straight. As of his second feature, The Devil, which got him into all kinds of trouble, in Poland, that is, Zulawski started taking inspirations from a theoretical director / choreographer, Jerzy Grotowski, and this pops up in a lot of his movies, but it popped up in The Devil big time, but it is large and in charge, in possession. It's insane. I mean, the characters at some point seem to be pirouetting and almost going into this ballet, just where they literally bend their bodies and their actions into completely insane gestures and just histrionics. And I think you see Sam Neill sitting in a rocking chair at one point, and he is rocking back and forth like a maniac. Rock, and I mean, these characters through a lot of this. These actors act possessed. I mean, it's just crazy, crazy nuts, and it's just captivating to watch. And Zulawski, I don't know, man, what a director! You know, what a visionary, and he just literally pushes you into that crazy, insane, desperate, damaged headspace, and it goes a lot further. It goes a lot deeper. Where eventually, yeah, you're manifesting. You go from a traumatic breakup to where you're manifesting this squid monster in an apartment, and and then the bodies start piling up, and it gets crazy. A lot of people have referred to this as a horror movie, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not. I mean, it's not a horror movie. It could be seen or construed or maybe partially compartmentalized as a horror movie. It's a lot bigger than that. This is like, this is kind of like a movie about breakups writ large, I think. And, I mean, writ in capital freaky letters across the sky. And this is like some devastating stuff. I have never seen anything like this before. Fucking a Johnny, who's great in everything she's in. And, seeing how she's kind of been pushed to her limits in a lot of stuff. She worked with Herzog and Kinski, say no more. But I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like this performance. And, it's okay. A lot of there's a lot of hype right now surrounding this film Obsession, which is a very different kind of movie. And it is more like a straight horror movie. But, I mean, this actress, Indy Neverred, sorry, girl, he is getting a lot of the Johnny comparisons. And I've seen enough of this movie to know it's good. It's really good. And you're probably going to see a review of it sometime soon, whenever I get around to seeing it. But I've seen enough of it to see, yeah, it's good, and she's good, and she's really good. Crazy good. She's not a Johnny good, and that's probably no reflection on her, because nobody is. Nobody can touch this. I mean, nobody can touch this entire cast. I mean, just a Johnny and Neil in particular. Get a look at, her monologue. Get a look at Johnny's monologue here about Sister Faith and Sister Chance. And which one does she choose? Oh, it's one up for Jean Art, because she's choosing Sister Chance all the way. And this is crazy powerful stuff. I mean, I feel like Zulawski wrote a blueprint. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. He created in the sphere of cinema, because Grotowski obviously was doing it in theater. He created a new language for acting that's really kind of gone untapped, but it's a new language for acting, and it adds more depth And further you can go with acting than, I don't know, more than most people, more than most people have ever done. And there are people who dig deep. This digs into the center of the earth. I mean, this is crazy, crazy. Just the levels of psychodrama these people are going into and what they're being asked to pull out of themselves as a performance. And Zulawski did this all over it's in The Devil. It's probably, I imagine it's part of On the Silver Globe. I can tell you for sure, L'amour fou, which is a good one from the 80s. It's basically his Zulawski's adaptation of Dostoevsky's The Idiot. And that's one, it's going to take me a long time to unpack. And all I can tell you is just the long, crazy, convoluted story notwithstanding, it's mesmerizing to watch those actors do this insane performance. And they're all just stumbling and pirouetting and going crazy all over the damn screen. And this is just untapped potential if you want to pull that much out of yourself. And I kind of don't blame you if you don't, but boy, Zulawski's gone, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Tell you what. Anyway, this is one of my favorite movies. It's an absolute masterpiece and just staggering piece of art. And highest recommendation, folks.